We now have an opportunity to hear from our great keynote speaker. Our next speaker hails from Jefferson, Georgia. He is currently a junior at the University of Georgia, where he is majoring in agricultural and applied economics. His supervised agricultural experiences included beef production, diversified crop production, and agricultural education. He had the honor of achieving the rank of Eagle Scout and is now an officer for the National FFA organization. I'll tell you, he's been here for about 24 hours and has already pulled a prank on the entire state officer team. Needless to say, he's pretty much epic. Nevada FFA, please help me welcoming our 2011-2012 National FFA Southern Region Vice President, Kane Thurman.
So I've only been in Nevada for about 2 days now. In fact, a little bit less than 2 days. And I'm already learning all kinds of things. The first thing I learned is that you don't call it Nevada, you call it Nevada. Is that right? And another thing that I learned is that when playing basketball, it's okay to be wearing official dress. You don't always have to play shirts and skins either. You can sometimes play ties versus no ties. So thank you to those FFA members who played basketball a little earlier. But I'm dying to know something else about Nevada FFA members. Is there anyone out there who has ever been sitting in a movie theater and had to leave during the best part to relieve themselves?
This guy.
Anybody out there? This guy. It's okay, go ahead and raise your hand. I know some of us are a little too ashamed to admit it, but I'm always that guy who eats too much popcorn, which has too much salt on it. This leads to me drinking too much Coke, which makes me have to go to the restroom. And I always seem to miss the best part of the movie. But no worries, there's an app for that. Yes, there's an app for that. There's a new app on the iPhone that just came out. If you were to go into this app, let's pick a movie. For example, if we were to go watch Mission Impossible, click into the application, click into Mission Impossible. As soon as the movie starts, click Start. All of a sudden it says 42 minutes into the movie, there's a 4-minute segment where it's okay to go to the restroom. There's not a whole lot going on in those 4 minutes, and it actually gives you an update while you've gone to relieve yourself. I think that's pretty cool. But I ask myself, who in the world thinks of things like this? I know all of you got fortune cookies tonight. There's also a fortune cookie application. If you were to download the fortune cookie app, you could double click the fortune cookie and out pops a fortune. No longer do you have to get to the store or to a restaurant that offers fortune cookies. And my favorite app of all times is the one where when you're driving down the road, if you were to turn on the radio and don't know what that song is that's playing, press start on the application, it listens to the music and tells you exactly who the artist is, what the song is, when it was written, and exactly who wrote that song. I think that's genius. Now, I'm no expert when it comes to applications. However, I still rock the BlackBerry. I carry the BlackBerry around, so I'm actually not able to get applications on my phone. But nonetheless, I think they're super cool, because no matter what task you want to fulfill, there's probably an app for that. And there are more apps today than there were yesterday. And it's pretty cool to think that there will be more apps tomorrow than there are today. So it's got me thinking about opportunities. You know, we have more opportunities today than we've ever had. We have more opportunities than our parents had, and our parents have more opportunities than their parents had. Welcome to the future, ladies and gentlemen. We have more opportunities than anyone who has ever walked planet Earth, and I think that's pretty dang exciting. Now, so let's go ahead and modify AT&T's slogan, and rather than saying there's an app for that, let's say there's an op for that. So before I became a national officer, I attended the University of Georgia. And at the University of Georgia, I only took Tuesday, Thursday classes. It was a pretty awesome schedule. I had 2 classes before lunch and 2 classes after lunch. There was an hour-and-a-half break in between, so I would always go eat lunch with a couple of friends. However, on this particular day, I wasn't feeling like going out and eating with a couple of my friends because I had a long to-do list. I had 2 tests coming up that next Tuesday, an essay to write and national office to prepare for. So I decided that this day I would eat by myself. So as I ventured down the hill from my classes, I went into the Bulldog Cafe. Go Dogs, University of Georgia. I entered the Bulldog Cafe and went to Chick-fil-A, grabbed me a sandwich, found a very quiet corner, and sat down to start to eat my lunch. I put down my book bag, pulled out my laptop, went to the site where I was supposed to be reading an essay that I was supposed to write an essay about, and I started to study. Set my napkin in my lap, and right as I was about to take my first bite of sandwich, something really strange happened. And I'm going to need a volunteer from the audience to demonstrate the strange thing that happened. Gentlemen, right here in the second row, if one of you would come up. Oh, you're going to hop up here. All right. Okay, so I'm sitting here, as you'll recall, and your name is? Corey. Corey. We've met a million times, Corey. Everyone give Corey a big round of applause first. So Corey, I had just sat down to eat my lunch. My napkin was in my lap, laptop unfolded, and I was about to take a bite of my sandwich. Then all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I see this dude holding a sign. Corey, there's your sign on the ground over there.
Oh, you're good at this, Corey.
So I see this dude out of the corner of my eye, and he's holding this sign. And I've never met this guy before in my life. There's about 100 people around us. They're all staring at me, wondering if I know this guy and wondering if I'm going to go give him a hug. So I must admit, I was getting a little nervous at this point. I had absolutely no clue what this guy's intentions were. So I took my first bite of sandwich, hoping that he would go away. Looked out of the corner of my eye, he was still there. So finally my curiosity took over, and I went over there and gave him the biggest hug that I could. And as I gave him a hug, I was giving a lot of pats. And if any of you have ever seen two guys hug, they give a lot of pats. Because that lets the other guy know, Corey, that lets you know that I'm trying to get away from you. But if you've ever watched two girls give a hug, oh man, they just embrace it. They just got the rubs going on, oh yeah, down the back. But when two guys hug, they're patting, they're trying to get away. So this hug maybe lasted half a second. Corey, I sure do appreciate you volunteering. Give Corey a big round of applause. So as I patted and tried to get away from this guy, I took a step back, outstretched my hand, and introduced myself like any gentleman should. I said, hey, I'm Kane. He said, hey, I'm Matt. I said, Matt, it's nice to meet you, but what in the world are you doing? Well, I decided that I was living my life a little bit too safe. I was going through the motions and decided that I wanted to live my life freely. I wanted to go out on the open road, experience life and the people in it. So I've got to ask you, why in the world are you offering free hugs at the University of Georgia today? Well, me and my buddy Alan was in the corner taking pictures and taking video. Me and my buddy Alan are traveling around the country trying to figure out which state is the friendliest. We decided that the best way to do this was to offer free hugs and actually see how many people take us up on these free hugs. However, that's not the only reason that we're doing it. We're also doing it because you never know what a simple hug might do. It could turn someone's day around. Thanks, Matt. It was nice to meet you. Wow. I sat back down and continued to eat my lunch. And as I sat there eating my lunch, I thought to myself, this guy had a pretty awesome life. He was going to college, a college student, going through the motions each and every day, but decided that he would chase his passion by making a difference in the life of someone else. He decided that he would take a road trip across America to give hugs to see which state was the friendliest. This was a passion of his. You know, each of us have passions. Now, our passions probably don't involve traveling across the United States or offering free hugs to anyone. But we all have passions, and that allows us to be unique. Maybe your passion is figuring out how things run in your FFA chapter. If it is, there's an opt for that. Run for chapter office. Maybe you're passionate about that girl or boy that sits across from you in second period. There's an opt for that. There's a dance coming up. Maybe you're passionate about rock and roll. There's an opt for that. Nothing is stopping you from creating a rock band. Maybe you're passionate about making a difference in your community. There's an opt for that. Join Habitat for Humanity. No matter what it may be, there's an opportunity for you to explore that passion and to find that unique inner self. Look for these opportunities. And don't let the fear of someone rejecting a hug keep you from holding the sign. You know, one of my favorite movies is Forrest Gump. Are there any Forrest Gump fans out Doesn't sound like I'm going to have to give a whole lot of background on the movie. It seems as though people have already seen